A lot has been said over the last few days, few weeks. There's a constant daily, running announcements about CIP, CIP, CIP. And it really makes you wonder, what is this all about? What is this all about? Why such an attack on the image and the reputation of St. Lucia through the CIP? Why the actions of the opposition in this particular regard? And like I said, every single day is an attack upon myself, is an attack upon the program. Mr. Speaker, I want to start off by saying to you, the Prime Minister has made it very clear, and in his leadership he has said to us, we must always protect the integrity of St. Lucia. In the conduct of our business, we avoid as much as possible naming and shaming companies that may have, in their discussions with the last government, the agreements with the last government, probably crossed the line a few times. We did not go out and publish documents about them. We did not name and shame them. We acted as a responsible government. We sat down in meetings and we sought to correct what we thought was wrong. We believe at the end of the day, the government of St. Lucia is continuous. Doesn't matter which party is in power. We want always investors from anywhere in the world to have confidence when they come to invest in St. Lucia. Not to believe that if a government changes, documents will be made public and persons will chastise companies and reveal information about their dealings, their commercial agreements, to their embarrassment. We don't believe in that, because St. Lucia must come first. So even when we are not happy, we have to try to correct it and put it on course and make sure we represent the best interests of St. Lucia. Because St. Lucia is not just about this moment, it's about the future as well. The future generations that will inherit the seat of government like we do now. And we've not gone about doing this. And the opposition keeps pushing us, Mr. Speaker. And like a colleague said, they are prepared to burn down the house, and the house being St. Lucia, just to kill a roach, not even a rat, a roach. And in the belief that if they come back in, they can rebuild it. Think about that mentality. To get power back at all costs, and by any means necessary. Because they believe if they destroy the country, once they are in power, it will be okay. But we know that's not really true. They don't need to destroy St. Lucia. If you believe you have a better alternative to what exists now, put your case to the people of St. Lucia. And you notice they've started campaigning. Every day they're campaigning. But we're not campaigning yet. We're working. We're delivering for the people of St. Lucia. And they got so offensive, Mr. Speaker, during one of our official opening ceremonies for the Miku jetty. They got so irate and so desperate, they said we were opening a toilet for the people of Miku. And they said the whole cabinet went to witness it. Think about that. The leader of the opposition, that the jetty is really a toilet for the people of Miku. Think about it. That's what you think of the very people that for years have supported the United Workers' Party. For years. But that's just a reflection of how desperate they are. Just how desperate they are. So the leader of the opposition says a lot of things. And I want this morning, for the record, Mr. Speaker, to respond to a couple of points he's made. First of all, there are numbers banding around 7,000. Where did you get 7,000 from? Martinez said it. So your source of information is Martinez, a man that he established a relationship with to meet his own objectives, which is to destroy the image and reputation of St. Lucia. And I'll come back to that. So the numbers you are claiming is, you're saying, Martinez told you McLeod said it, but McLeod said he never said those things. So what's the basis for the numbers? And he keeps saying things about infrastructure option. I'm going to ask the unit to issue a memo on the infrastructure program and guidelines so it can be all agents and everyone. Because he says it's a secret option. Something that was gazetted on December 20th, I think it was. Gazetted on December 20th. The option was gazetted. We waited an entire month for him to file a negative resolution in case he opposed it. He never did. Think about that. He says it's secret in the Gazette. The unit sent out a memo on 1st of February announcing that the option has been launched. He said, I said in my address it's March, and how can I say March when the memo was February, and that means it was secret? Listen to the logic of the leader of the opposition. The memo said first, I said March. Okay, I can always explain why we said March, but that means it was secret. How can something that was announced be secret? How can something that was announced be secret? How can something that was gazetted be secret? But, Mr. Speaker, it tells you the desperation. Why do they want the infrastructure option to fail? Why? It's very simple, Mr. Speaker. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, you're the leader of the opposition, and you're hearing the government is launching an infrastructure option where over $100 million will be spent on improving roads, building houses, building community facilities. Wouldn't you get scared? Wouldn't you get scared that 2 years before elections, the government is announcing an infrastructure option that will transform the infrastructure of this country? They have to be scared. And for an opposition that is totally incompetent, is loud, abusive, attacking the character of all individuals, persons not even in public life like us, they must be scared, Mr. Speaker. The fright that this program will succeed and the government will be re-elected is what has them so desperate. It's called political panic, Mr. Speaker. And he's under pressure. So he wants it to fail. And he will do anything to make sure it fails. Even calling on the revocation of visa-free access, Mr. Speaker. Think about that. A leader of the opposition, somebody who was a prime minister of this country, virtually calling on our international partners to watch us and speaking about revocation of visa-free access. He even goes as far as speaking about the banking, correspondent banking may be lost. Why are you saying that? Why? Because in his mind, if he can create the impression that there is so much confusion and corruption and scandal and this thing is so bad, maybe some people will start listening. He writes a letter, about 5 pages, to the leader of the opposition. Here it is. To the Prime Minister. He signed it. He records his address to the nation on the Wednesday, in secret, on Wednesday. He sends a letter to the Prime Minister on the Friday afternoon. So I already knew what was in the letter because, St. Lucia, you can't have too many secrets. I'm sure a lot of members around here know just about everywhere you go, people know where you go. You understand? So on the Sunday now he addresses the nation to speak about the letter that he only gave on Friday night, not even giving the Prime Minister some chance to digest it and maybe give him a response. It shows you that there was no sincerity in that letter. But he copies it to a number of persons. And it's not the first time he has done that. He wrote a letter earlier, copied it to the IMF, and the World Bank, CDB. He copied it to all embassies because the government took a loan that was going to finance the hosting of World Cup cricket. And may I say, Mr. Speaker, we must say kudos to our colleague, the Minister, for the leadership that he showed in preparing St. Lucia to host the matches. Complaining about the government taking a loan, Mr. Speaker, to host Cricket World Cup and to improve the sporting infrastructure in this country. He finds that unacceptable. To guarantee a loan, not even take a loan, to guarantee a loan. Thank you very much, colleague. But that's the thinking of the leader of the opposition. That's the thinking of him. Why do you want to desecrate the good name of St. Lucia? Why? Because this is your pathway to get back into power? But Mr. Speaker, I'm often told by friends of mine that evil thinks what evil does. Evil thinks what evil does. And the leader of the opposition and the Senator, Dominic Fide, always makes statements. And sometimes, one thing, Mr. Speaker, I listen to criticism. Some people tell me I should not listen to all those stories and all those criticisms. But I listen to it because sometimes there's validity in some of what is being said. It may not be totally true, but it causes you to reflect and to see probably where you fell short. It makes you a better person, a better professional. And they were saying things, Mr. Speaker. And there was a particular post about agents getting $20,000 and they calculating numbers. And I found it really bizarre. What's this all about? And I decided, let me ask a few questions in the unit. How did things happen under the United Workers' Party government? And then, Mr. Speaker, information starts unearthing. You really don't want to put out in public some things, Mr. Speaker, because deep down inside you still want to protect your country and its reputation. But it will push us over the line, Mr. Speaker. Because I will say to this morning, all the talk about underpricing and discounting was started by the last government in St. Lucia. That's where it started. That's where it started, Mr. Speaker. And I want them to challenge me and say something, and I'll start releasing information. Because, Mr. Speaker, there were persons in St. Lucia that directly benefited from it. Directly benefited from it. But they are shouting and they are accusing persons of doing things because they did it. And they assume people must be doing it too. Evil thinks what evil does, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will come back to this house, but I'm sure they will answer me and I'll have to provide the evidence because I'm seeing it in this house. The range situation, Mr. Speaker. No one who applied for citizenship through that range project paid the required amount they were supposed to pay. But, Mr. Speaker, I'm waiting for the leader of the opposition to be there. To be there when I'm giving him the full story. I want him, Mr. Speaker, the same individual who is desecrating St. Lucia, same individual who's attacking the character of all individuals and sending it all over the world. I want him to be there when I'm saying it. I want him to be there. I was waiting for him to be here this morning, but for some reason, he decided not to come. I heard he's on vacation, Mr. Speaker.